Good morning, my happy hour back. Here's the plan. This may seem a little strange, but we're building a moat. I'm not sure if everybody knows what a moat is. I'll show you in a moment. But we'll see what else is going on today, and it's bound to include tiling. It might include granite. It definitely includes electrical work. It might involve wall coverings. It definitely includes painting. Let's go and check it out. What could possibly go wrong? Here it is. Mr. Riddell and Coelito are making a start on our moat. In all the traditions of old English castles and stately homes, we're building a water barrier. We're going to put a moat, like a river if you like, around the outside of all of the house. So we've started down here. It's not a very big moat, but it's to stop termites, because I've read that termites cannot swim. So we're going to build a little river all around the outside of the house. It doesn't need a drawbridge. We won't be allowing termites at night to come across a little drawbridge into the house. Just a little river. Clever, isn't it? The first thing inside the house, painter Mr. Willie, working on these light areas again with these little wooden little highlight pieces that have been put in. Interestingly, the bottom of them has now gone back to being white in a lot of cases. But it's just a temporary stage. They will all come back to being dark brown. Right now, smoothing them off, a little bit of sanding, making sure everything is as he likes it. In the dining room, painter Mr. Ernie is now applying the grain finish back on this wooden area. It's not yet as dark as up in the ceiling, but I'm pretty sure by the time he's finished, which probably won't be today, it will be. We are in Alex's room. Here's something brand new. This is going to be the flooring material for all of the bedrooms. Now, I don't think any of this is actually going to be installed today. We think it's more likely to start tomorrow, but they're preparing to put this in. So we'll talk about it more, what it is and why, tomorrow. This is what goes on before that flooring is put down. It's just cleanup. So Erwin is getting rid of some of the surface detritus, the rubbish, the accumulated stuff, so that this floor begins as not as smooth as possible, but relatively smooth before they start putting that flooring down. On Jack's balcony, the final few tiles were finished this morning, and now the ones at the top are being ground a little bit to create a 45-degree angle, because along the top of this balcony wall and the same on the master bedroom, they will be putting tiles across the top. So by creating those 45-degree angles on this and then on the ones across the top, they join up very neatly. So again, it's all by hand. There's no special tool for this. It's just ground down by eye and experience. At the carport, Papa Jess is preparing to put lights in here. And a conversation I had with the engineer this morning is, I find, quite remarkable. Well, not remarkable. Well, it is worth remarking on, I suppose. They've decided that on the back wall here, behind, they're going to put 4 coats of waterproofing. Which seems like an awful lot to me, but I'm not going to argue with them. So they're still working on that. In the kitchen, I think they have finished all of the granite in here, with the exception of the kitchen island. So far today, there is no sign of more granite being delivered, and we don't have the granite installation crew on site either. So it may be that the next granite parts might be delayed. Of course, there's still quite a long way to go today. We'll have to just wait and see. Yesterday, we had a second delivery. 4-inch concrete hollow blocks for the garden. All will be revealed quite soon. I'm not sure exactly when, but there's supposed to be, I think, a little over 500 of these in this pile. I haven't counted them. I need to do that to make sure. These are going to get used soon. Thank you, a huge thank you to everybody who has put suggestions in the comments for the playlist name for the garden. Still haven't quite decided. I think I probably want to include the word tropical, although that might put some people off. If you've got a garden somewhere in a much cooler climate, are you going to search on a channel that calls its gardening tropical? I don't know. So still being considered, but yeah, massive thank you. We got loads of suggestions, and they are all still in the mix at the moment. It's just a little bit after lunch, and we'll start here with our new moat. So it's partially been extended, and it now goes a little bit of the way, actually quite a bit of the way, down the north wall, although there's still some more digging to do there. Even termites might be able to swim something that is that shallow. We'll see how they get on by the end of the day. Papa Jess has relocated. He's now here on the kind of outside edge of the patio, starting to install these recess lights up here. There's to Willie and Ernie are both painting in and around the dining room and the downstairs hallway. So, Mr. Willie back to work on returning both these little inserts, and if we look up, the recesses, this dark brown colour. Mr. Ernie, oh, it got noisy then, is in here. Still working on this wooden feature. Quite a bit more still to be done here. In the kitchen, we're back onto granite again. And what I'd forgotten about was all the black splash. Oh, I think backsplash is better. All the backsplashes are starting to go in, all the way around all these cabinets. Sorry, keep your busy Phil's popping. So, a little bit more to do there by the main window. More to do here. Behind me, it's all done. It may not be fully fitted, I'm not sure, but it's all in. Heading up the stairs, all sorts of activity up here. More brackets going in for glass retaining walls above the stairs, and beyond that, it looks like maybe they are making a start on putting in bedroom flooring. We'll go and check it out. Well, they did make a start on flooring. This is actually in George's room, and they put down effectively insulation underneath the flooring, and the material we're using is engineered wood. We've gone for this basically because it feels better than tiling on your feet. That's the biggest reason, really. We could have gone for hardwood, but we've gone for engineered wood because it may be a little more resilient, and we just like the look of this particular one. It is fairly easy to put together. It does suffer from scratching if you're not careful. It is in that sense less resilient than tiles, but
we just liked the feel of something softer on your feet when you get up in the morning. It may suffer, we don't know, from warping because of the high humidity here, but we are told, we think, it suffers hopefully not too badly as long as you keep it in good condition. Time will tell. If any of you have got experience of engineered wood flooring, please do let us know. Fitting it into place is not overly complicated. It is all with, I think it's called tongue and groove, so they just kind of slot into each other. But this is what we've got, and all of the bedrooms will be the same, with exactly the same flooring. And it looks like once they get started, because it's relatively easy to slot together, it does go in quite quickly. So we should see this progressing quite a lot over the next 3 or 4 days, I would think. One thing they have just pointed out to me is they do leave this small gap around all the edges. And this is so, as temperature and humidity changes, this wood can expand and contract very slightly. By leaving a small gap, it ensures that, or it doesn't ensure, it means there's less likelihood of the wood buckling up. It's got a little bit of room to move. I can't see exactly how far that is, half a centimetre maybe. I'm sure it won't be noticeable once the walls are all fully finished, but that seems like a sensible thing to do to me. We'll just watch the next one going in, because it does seem very, very straightforward. So it's just laid in place, given a bit of a bang, so it tucks nicely into the next piece. If it reaches the far end, which it doesn't in this case, they will then put one of those little wooden separator pieces in. But bang, 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 it's done. We'll see later on whether there's any additional steps to this, but it does look very straightforward. On Jack's balcony, tiling along the top of this wall is now, at least 2/3 done, might be in a little bit more. So I'm going to go and have a look from the other side. We'll stick my head out of one of the windows and see if they're continuing down the other side, or if that's coming later. Or not at all. I would have thought it should be tiled on the other side of this as well, just for appearance's sake. Rather than stick my head out of a window, I decided to come down here, and clearly at the moment they're not yet putting tiles on the right side of this balcony wall. They're completing the top and this side that's closest to us, the edge of the wall. I imagine that after that, if we are going to see tiles, that's when they'll come. It's 4:30. The bell's gone. The guys are heading out. I'm going to take a leaf out of Megawegger's book now. He submits a joke of the day every day, but he said out of respect for the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, he's going to refrain from that today. I think that's a good choice. So we'll skip the joke of the day and go and see what's been going on. Before we go inside, there's something to show you. I think it's time that I owned up to a tiny little lie. This pipe that Mr. Rennell is holding at the moment is going to be put into the trench that they've been digging this morning. It's not a moat. Sorry, I was having you on. I'm sure you realise that. What this will do is there will be access points around the house that we can tap into this pipe, which will go all the way around the outside. The pipe itself will be perforated. There'll be holes. I'm told it's 1 every 12 inches. They might have to wrap some cloth around it to stop those holes clogging up. But the access points will allow us to pour in termite poison. And as it is taken around the house with this pipe. It'll leach out into the soil on the immediate outside of the house. And it is an attempt to stop termites coming in. Honestly, I don't know whether termites can swim. My guess is they probably could. But this is something we've heard about elsewhere. We're going to give it a try. It's not the only measure we're taking or even taking to try and stop termites coming in, or at least slow them down. But it's one of the measures that we're using that we're hoping will keep them at bay at least a little bit. So yeah, pipe all the way around the outside, not a moat. In the kitchen, all of the backsplash is now in. There's a little bit of tidy up to be done, but it's all in, it's properly in place. Just needs that little bit of cleanup left to finish it off. In the dining room, looks like Ernie's got all of that varnish done. I'm not sure if he's finished. It is still, at the moment, a tiny bit lighter than the ceiling, but that may simply be a case of allowing it to dry, or it might need a little bit more finishing off. We'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. Well, he continued with getting these little areas for lights back to the brown colour. All of the little add-on pieces are now brown. All inside at the top is all back to brown. There's still work to be done. The side surfaces of the little cutout areas still need to be painted again to get them, I think, back to a nice clean white. On the staircase, we've got a little bit more of the wall covering just on the left side there. Not much at all, still a lot more to do both on this side of the wall and on the other side. In George's room, we've got more than 70% of the flooring is now in. This flooring can only be put in the rooms where the windows are all in place. You can't have rain coming on this, you don't want to get it wet. That will not help. So we're a little bit limited at the moment. I'm going to go and check the other rooms and see how many others they could, in theory, get started on. This is Sabrina's bedroom, and in fact this is the only room that we don't have all the windows in. So can't put the floor down in here yet, but in all the other bedrooms, when they're ready, they can go ahead. The tiling for the wall on Jack's balcony, all done on this side, all done on the top. They definitely are going to be putting tiles on the other side of this. I can see by just looking at the tiles on the top and how far they overhang, and the fact that they've also been cut to a 45-degree angle. So both sides of this wall will have these tiles. We'll finish up here. Not only have we finished the day, we finished the year. It is now a year ago since we started this build. And that seems amazing to me. It doesn't feel anything like a year. On the original contract, the build time was 12 months, but we never put a penalty into that contract for overrunning, anything like that. And I know it would have ended up costing us more because the builder would have had to have built in a bigger price to make sure he finished within the contractual period. So we didn't. And time for us was never really of the essence with this build. It would have been nice if it was all done now. I'm not sure what the revised build completion estimate is. I might ask the builder the next time I see him. But nevertheless, in 12 months, an amazing transformation of this land with not only the house but the pool and the wall around the outside. Still got quite a bit to do. Unless something goes horribly wrong, we won't go into a third year, I'm sure of that. How long it will be remains to be seen. But incredible that 12 months has gone by. So we start year 2 tomorrow. come and see how that looks. See you then.